Mm. All right. Very good morning, everybody. Late evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. You copied it from coast to coast. They usually say that. WJ Warrior Jr. here with your, um, yeah, I'd say daily dose of knowledge and information. But it's like whenever I feel it, I usually get on. And it's usually just once on the average, once a day. So that's the way it is. Uh, I was thinking, well, why aren't you wearing your normal hoodie jacket thing? Well, it started raining, here in Los Angeles very quickly. Had to go over. My friend is in Akron right now, so I had to just look and make sure his place is okay for a second. And when I was coming back, the downpour started. Boom! So my jacket got drenched, and I was like, that's my only one I usually wear. So you know, kind of cold in here. Well, not. It's okay. It's manageable. I got a space heater. I got like a long sleeve shirt, so so it's okay. It's manageable. We're gonna get to the topic in a second. The enlightenment continues, and this. Um, I've been watching a lot of specials on the truth behind pro wrestling, but eh, they're just more of documentary kind of things, and they don't really get into what I was hoping. They would cover. They go over mostly these hard luck stories or like guys and now they're wrestling in Knights of Columbus things. It's just it's not really anything. This one thing about a promoter, I watched that, and this one thing was kind of funny about this Asian chick. Yeah, these guys would call up and she does like private wrestling things in her dungeon. Like a guys like to get whipped and pinned and yeah, I guess it's a fetish, a fantasy thing. So I don't knock guys for wanting to do that kind of shit, but I don't know who do want to somebody to beat you up. Like I don't like that idea. Hey, there's people like that like that shit and whatever. I'm into like the business aspect of it. Because when I talk about the enlightenment, it's everything. And as I mentioned, I've been going to this wrestling school. I've been stopping in there, like, and huh, it's it's just really interesting because when I say kids, I'm almost 50, so anybody 25, half my age, is like a kid in my mind or younger. They just don't know. They don't know. Just like I didn't know, kind of like, well, everything's a learning process, but you listen to a lot of ex wrestlers talk, interviews and stuff, and what you do is you just take a consensus of everything, and therefore you can form your own views and opinions without really learning the hard way. Lemon ginger organic the tea, no special ingredient in this one. I like this. You can get this at I was gonna say Safeway, but Pavilions, whatever, which is Albertsons also. The organics brand, it's pretty good. Can't beat a hot cup of tea when it's cold outside, or at night. It's helps clear throat passages. You could talk. I used to do it with beer, but man, I'm so happy. I'm kind of done. Kind of. So far, it's been over 3 years, and I feel like I haven't really missed anything. Sitting there drinking beer all night, watching Return of the Jedi on VHS, and living in the past. A lot of guys do that. My friend Ruben, he's a good guy, but he just sits there drinking beer all the time, and just talking about how he worked at Northrop in the mid '80s or whatever. And it's like, dude, I understand that, but I heard that story a million times and it's over, like, come on. I could talk about my baseball stories too. It don't matter anymore. I mention them briefly to somebody I don't know, but I move on. What about now? What about forward? Stop focusing on the wake, the trail left behind, the boat's going forward. See where they're going forward, man. A lot of people sit there, drink their lives away. That's what they do. They focus on that wake. They talk about, I was 15 or I was 20, yeah, and that one time, and the whole crowd went wild. Who cares, man? I mean, yeah, but it's archived, whatever. I got a couple TV shows and whatever. I remember I did some live things, and the crowd went wild, whatever. It didn't lead anywhere. Now, all right. So the enlightenment continues. Um, the consensus is that the wrestling business is a very difficult business. That you're trying to carve out a niche for yourself, whether it be anything. A promoter, wrestler, from a valet to a referee to a manager to a commentator, anything. And a lot of it is built on those connections. Word gets around, oh, so and so. And I talked about in the last couple episodes, I've been going to this wrestling school, and now they're starting to push what I call the crack tactic. I already mentioned what that is, but I will repeat it in spite of what needs to be mentioned. Give a little taste for free, like that's what the pusher does. And then you become addicted, and then they nail you, like, then now you got to pay for it. Now you got to start paying for it. And that tactic won't work on me. Probably would have worked when I was younger, but I'm just too far ahead already. Now, no disrespect to the people that run the school. I mean, I think Rikishi's, but I have a very good sense of seeing through the smoke screen. Now, I talked about that even earlier in my earliest episodes. The smoke screen, whatever, the phoniness of things. And I'm not saying I'm a clairvoyant or a psychic, but I can kind of, after talking to somebody for a little bit, I can kind of tell what they see in me, what they're telling me, if what they're saying holds merit, if it's partial truth, if there's something there, or if it's full of shit. Or if somebody has intentions of really using me and not giving me anything. I mean, I'm not bad. I've been around. It's a trial and error, man. It's a learning experience. Those gut instincts, don't discount them. And some of it can be, disappointing when you meet somebody that you really wish, like you respect them or whatever, you see them on TV, and then you meet them and they're not who you think they are, or they just don't care to get to know you or whatever. And this is the feeling that I get, like I am being treated like I'm some noob at this wrestling school. And I'm being told over and over again to have this humility, this kind of shut up and do what you're told kind of thing. And I don't like it. It doesn't mean that it's going to get me anywhere. I'm not saying I'm like any of these big guys or Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior or something like that. But, you're kind of harboring delusions without connections. Why would a guy like Rikishi kind of try to get me in the door when he could work on his, hell, care more about his son, his kid that's like 17 or whatever. Let's just be honest and realistic here. They want these guys to sign up to get the tuition money. I've heard everything they said so far. A lot of it, the vibe I'm getting from Black Pearl is that he really hasn't given me a chance. I mean, like, I've kind of had to force myself to say what I want to say. The guy's not like really letting me, he's never once, you can understand, man, I've been working out on it for 30 years. Not once he ever said, hey, man, you look like you put a lot of time in. No positive nothing from that guy. Not one fucking thing. And when you don't give me any hope, then it's like, that's all that guy does is try to belittle. Like, say, anybody can cut a promo. It's no big deal. Being in shape is no big deal. Like, everything I say is no big deal. So this is not the Marine Corps, break somebody down and build them up your own way. This is fucking pro wrestling. It's entertainment, And I'm not saying the guy is not knowledgeable. I'm not saying like he doesn't know what he's talking about or anything like that. But he said, like, you got no use. We already got writers. We already got this. We got that. We don't no use for all those things we got. And I try to explain to him, you don't got nothing, man. You got nothing. The reason I say that is because I've been to one of the shows already, seen what they do. Okay. Dude's trying to push himself is what he's trying to do. And Rikishi, now I'll talk a little bit about him. That dude's got a good heart. He's like real. Like, there's something, he's a real, he makes up for what Pearl doesn't have, or doesn't want to show. Like, to put you on the spot. I like that, But he's like a real authentic, like a good dude, like I got that, and he'll tell you when he likes something, that's the thing, like, and he'll tell you when he doesn't. Like, he was really, dude, you say one more, get the fuck out of here if you fuck, like, I seen him, he told me, but that's okay. Like, I get that kind of thing from this guy, like that he cares. Like, I listen to how he talks, like it's and I grew up, I watched the SmackDown thing. I watched him back that ass up on everybody. Like, he was badass. Get it? And, but still, what's he gonna do for you? Like, you sign up for pay for a school like $2,500 to try to learn how to be a valet or manager, a commentator, so that they can use you in their shows, and you're not going to get paid. It goes on the resume, but it's only like, who's going to know who you are? You think they're going to make those phone calls for you, like try to push you? If you're 25, maybe, I would say, fuck, all right, But still, then it doesn't matter. Like, you're I felt like I could see it from an eagle's eyes perspective. Now, these, a dude like Rusev, whatever, I already talked about. It's saw that guy in 08, or whatever, at that time at the wrestling school after the first day, and I knew some dude like that, if he stayed, there's something there. A big fucking dude that can flip and flop around. The guy was serious, and he made it, like, turn him into this big Russian modern day Nikolai Volkov character. And they give him the U.S. title. You know, it's like a joke. You know, like it, and then had Cena clobber him. You know, like Cena was the main head of the company. You know, at that time. But I already talked about in the last episode. Go back and listen to it if you want to hear like what. And that guy, like when I went and apologized to him, like he didn't ask me, dude, how long you been lifting? Like you don't, nothing, no props, nothing. So you got, if you take the consensus, you got no, no, and one yes. That don't look too good for me to pay to go to a place when 2/3 of the staff I'm not on the same page with. I'll be honest with you, I think I've learned all that there is already. I don't need a wrestling school. What I need is like opportunities. Nothing wrong with training. But I can do live shows already, commentary already. Commentating comes naturally to me. Don't have to know every fucking move, the Irish whip or whatever, inverted, the atomic drops, drop kicks, whatever. Because I put my own twist on it. Where I belittle people like McMahon, Jesse Ventura would. Ooh, look at the size of that guy. I can fucking, make fun of people or side. Like, it's not hard when you're naturally a good talker. Now, again, I said I'm good. I didn't say I'm great. I'm good. But I'm always looking to improve. Always. And that's part of becoming better. It's natural, flows. Dancing. When I was dancing, learning to dance move like a robot or something. No. You find your own rhythm as an artist. Hopefully. I never liked dance classes because it's not really, their teaching is wrong. It's skewed. It's not correct. Topic for another discussion, but are all those kids wasting their time? No. Because I say this. Let me put this down for a second. I say this. You got this many wrestling fans. This many people that want to be pro wrestlers. Want to be. This many people that go to wrestling school. You got this many people that make it. And then there's this many people that everybody knows makes all the money with it. So look at it like that. They are doing what this wishes they could do. This amount is doing it. Les Brown talked about that. When you're on your deathbed or whatever, the ghost of regret, the wrestling ghost will not show. Or he'll give a thumbs up either way. You fucking tried, man. Rest easy. It's not the end of the world. I watched this thing. Who the hell knows who some of these people were? They tried. A little moment in the sun at the time and got overshadowed by so-and-so, whatever. And that's it. I talked so much about the girl that I liked yesterday, in the last episode. My phone's not working. I got some little good news that I'll have it on Tuesday. Today's technically Friday, so it's okay. No, I wait. But she has my email, The dream for me would have been like that she would try to reach out to me and we would go get some meat over the weekend. That would have been women have to grow, I'm not saying that she's not, but women generally have to grow up so much faster than men for a couple different reasons. The sex appeal, the look, if you're trying to make it as a model or whatever, it's very short lived. Women generally, their bodies, they're tight, they're at their best up until like the mid 20s. Now, there's exceptions. Come on, people carried over. Women in the late 30s. Look at J-Lo, like 50 years old. She's not a wrestler, but it's like you can, but she's got a lot of fucking money. It's a big difference, right? But we're using as a general rule the early 20s, and that means that a lot of decisions have to be made fairly quickly. All right, this doesn't work, I'm going to go back to school. Like they just immediately do, that so by the time they say, hey, okay, I was a wrestler when I was 23, 24, but I can get my degree, go back to school. By the time I'm 26, I have a new career, new life. That's in the past, long time already. When I met China, Joni, like I didn't know, but yeah, she was going to teach English over in China. China. I don't think she was in Japan. They gave her a nice place to stay. I watched an interview. It's like the 101 Reasons Why Not to Be a Pro Wrestler, and she was in it. And I've heard her talk before. She opened up about, dealings in the wrestling and bad, a lot of it bad. And I felt real bad for her, like I got to meet her once. She was fucked up. And but she gravitated toward me. It was really nice. And I wish I could have been at that time a little more educated to maybe help somebody. And it's a shame that she died so relatively young. So rest in peace. It's a shame. We call it in Jewish and Yiddish. It's a bishin acharpa. It's a crying shame when somebody goes down that rabbit hole, that bad road, like the road of addiction. I heard she was talking about X-Pac. Like I feel bad, for these people that can you imagine, like, you're on a stage, that's what it is, and you're performing in front of tens of thousands of people, and from town to town to town, and then it's like all taken away from you. I can imagine, like I can really imagine the difficulties with that. Like, you want to be, and it must be very, very hard, to adjust to something else. What are you going to do? What are you going to be? And, here I am just watching this, like thinking, man, going to the gym, like religiously, building up, a decent amount of muscle, like, for my size, and thinking that I could do this. Like, wow, look at like Daniel Bryan. I'm, more cut up than he is. You think he wouldn't dwarf me, and I could hold my own. And that guy was WWE, the both champion. Like, had both those belts and everything. But you have to understand something. I'm not Daniel Bryan. And you understand that guy wrestled in those armories for 14 years, around the world for nothing, for peanuts. and he had that grunge kind of look. That was a selling thing, and word got around about him. And Shawn Michaels made the call, to Vince's office. You can see this guy. What do come on, there's something there. Well, he's a little guy, that guy. I don't need it. But it didn't matter. The guy had a good following to bring with him from ROH, Ring of Honor. 4,000 people go to see me. Maybe something there. So when you look at like what you think is, so it might not be. You don't know something that can generate revenue for a business is an asset. I don't give a fuck if you're 2 feet tall, if you're 110 feet tall. But I also came to the realization that I say, dude, well, I after going to that Lucha Libre show and watching this very carefully from a Marx perspective, and I know he didn't like that. Pro didn't like when I said that. Guy's got kind of a fragile ego, he doesn't understand. It's amazing. Like, I mean, he let me hang out there. That's I'm not saying like I'm not, but that's all I have to do is say one little thing that's wrong, and the guy like is ready to fucking throw me out. Like and it's like, but that's my own learning and brutal honesty. And I've heard that term used, Marx. Like people that go to these, and they are in a way. No, that's a derogatory term. It's not nice to call fans that. And look, I don't care. I paid, to go see Force Awakens or Star Wars and The Last Jedi. I paid full ticket price opening night. Sit there in the seat, like all the other fans, for the 2 hours of them Disney, allowing them to pull me into the Star Wars world for 2 hours. And it's the same fucking thing in wrestling. The exact same thing. Just more expensive. Doesn't matter if you're sitting in, you're paying less, whatever, and they're sitting in the nosebleeds to front row. But you understand the point. That's what it is. And he doesn't get that. He does not. He does the NockX Pro. They don't understand that. Now, WWE has, yes, the advent of better television, so they can do more communication, talking. That's the most important thing. And this guy doesn't understand that. These guys that are running this wrestling school, they understand how to teach wrestling. They're not good at marketing wrestling. And I try to tell this guy, I got a master's in sports management. Like, I could offer you guys, like, if you just hear me out. And they're like, we don't need it. Here, they got, let's say, 30, 40 kids, student, whatever, to pay. Let's say 3,000. Let's say 30 kids at 3,000. That's 90 grand tuition, right? And they help these kids, whatever, and then in this space, I've been there. Barely enough room outside the ring, to do anything. It's so. And they perform at these the shows. Not that many people there for what it is. And then these guys that own the fucking thing, they're performing. They come out like it's their show. Like they're not like even though they weren't wrestling in it, they steal the spotlight from these kids. And these kids don't get paid. And the main guy that's running this El Presidente guy, comes out with this big mariachi band. It's the dumbest thing I ever seen. The dumbest fucking thing. Waste so much time with things that won't take you over. Like they don't draw in the crowd. That they'll tell other people about it. It's not that. It's not. He's doing it the wrong way. He doesn't understand the value of this. Anybody can cut a promo. Like he doesn't understand. It's not just whatever. It doesn't matter. It's what goes on in between that means everything. Because that's what made Vince McMahon a billionaire. That's what takes over. You know, I think Impact, there's a lot of shit talking. TNA, whatever. I've seen it. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I have seen some heated dialogue. It's so important. The way that Kurt Angle talks, the way that, you know, man, and you're going to discount that? Now, there's some people that really don't. The way that Triple H, you know, made everybody hate him. He's a very good wrestler, but it's like what he said. I mean, that's like unbelievable. You're taking out a major element, and that would just, you'll never make any money that way. And you know, these kids, you're selling them a dream. Nobody's forcing them to pay. I get that. But I will tell them the reality. Okay? And I know doing that it pisses a lot of people off. Why? Because of their fragile egos. Now, again, you have to be careful, because like, you go ahead and you tell these kids the truth like that, and they're paying to go to wrestling school. These promoters are like, well, you can't tell them, you know, you're letting the cat out of the bag here. We want them to pay. Here, we're helping them chase a dream here. And if you go ahead and you tell them, nah, you're not going to make, then you're bad for our business. So that's the reason I haven't said anything. But it's like, man, what? They just don't know. Kind of like I didn't know about a lot of things. That's what I call enlightenment. Now, is it possible? Is it possible somebody goes to that school and they make it to WWE? Yes. Rusev's an example. One. I don't know how many people have been to that school since 2008 or 2006 or whatever, stopped in or paid for a little bit or something. I've been there. There's like 30, 40 kids in there that on Wednesday. That's just one fucking day. There when Orlando Jordan just stopped in. I don't think he was going to school there, but he stopped by. It's another guy that he wrestled Ultimate Warriors. He's also on SmackDown, U.S. champion. He took the title from Benoit. I remember. Worked under JBL, you know. So I consider that making it. You get airtime on any WWE thing, you made it. You might not make a lot, but you made it. Meanwhile, that guy that I don't care for, or I hate to say that, it's not that I don't care for it. I just feel like I can read people really well. Like, I worked so hard to get in shape over my life. Is a third of the total package. Now that Rusev guy's an exception. I know he's on stuff. I could tell. It doesn't matter. He's gonna take his shirt off, and I'm gonna look really, really small, just like compared to John Cena. Didn't have to. I stood next to him, and I knew. But you think naturally you're gonna, no, no. I got too much time, dude. Way, 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 way too much time. And I'm not even that big. Just nothing. But if you're very, very, very solid at 5'9" or whatever, there's no discounting that. 200 pounds don't sound like nothing. But if it's solid muscle, depending on your height, it is something. Now, so the enlightenment, it's just, I'm going to research, I'm going to see if there's any other schools out there. Try to look into talking with other, more organization, smaller wrestling promotions, and say, look, man, I've been to this wrestling school. If you want to call me in and see what I can do, put me on the spot. You might be surprised. And maybe there is nothing. Maybe I'm just, it's all a waste of time. That I've tried. I felt like I had tried. I'm not going to be taken to the cleaners for $3,000 just to hang out there. It's not like I have exclusive use to the ring. It's not like a gym membership. I go in just about whenever I want. I can really work. This is it's like a class thing, and it won't do me any good. And the girl that I liked, that she gave me her card, I maybe in a couple of weeks, if I don't hear from her, email or something, I'll ask her real nicely if she'd like to go out to eat sometime. And just forget about it. Just don't go back there ever again. Don't. Like I said, I'm just used to never, Man, I'll tell you something, boy, your imagination, if you just allow it to run wild, boy, I really thought, my dream would come true, totally unexpected, totally unexpected. Can you imagine? I went to that wrestling school to really pursue my dream in the business, and then you wind up meeting a woman of your dreams. I mean, it'd be incredible. That would be but it's a fantasy. It's a fairy tale. It's daydreaming is what it is. But I'm one of those guys that I try. I think the most important thing is the practical, realistic thing. To focus, stay with school, stay in shape. It's good for your mental. For me, I like to just keep working out just to do it. So it's something I just stick with. But these fuckers, they discount it. They really, really do. They really write it off. You have no fucking idea the discipline, what it takes to look exceptional. Because they think it's all steroids, it's all gear, which I don't use. Anyway, well, that's all I'm gonna say about that, for now. And I will keep the update going, In my mind, I thought she'd email me. Like, there's no way she could call me, so I thought I would get an email from her, like, hey, how you doing? I didn't see her practice, at the school. And then I would just email her back, I would just love to get together with you, for something to eat. It mean like so much to me to just get to talk to that woman like exclusively, without anybody around. This interference in this world that keeps people from connecting. Like it's like I got no fucking chance. Okay, forget her for a second. I'm just talking in general. Just in general. How many women I've tried to talk to in my lifetime, like not that, relatively not that many. But this interference in this world, this social conditioning, this stranger danger, you're, you could do something to me. God, all my years of dancing, all my fucking years of going to nightclubs, it's just so unbelievable. I got to admit, there was a lot of it that was me. My combativeness when I was younger, like getting drunk and angry. Like I know, but still, you figure that's all a smoke screen. You figure the right woman could see through all that nonsense and would have a passion for dance. Like it wouldn't matter, but it never fucking happened. It never fucking happened. Why? Because LA is so full of that interference. It's not like Las Vegas where tourists go to have a good time. And I already talked about, like my dream of possibly living out there, just to place maybe you could meet people where it's not so LA-ish. My mom agrees. She totally concurs with this LA phoniness. These people here, they're married to their fucking pets. I love animals, but that's what it is. That their love, whatever exists in that human dynamic of love, it goes to their animals. It doesn't go to meeting the right person. It doesn't. It doesn't. Anytime I see a woman in this area, their needs are met. It's a fucking story. It's the same. I don't care what they say. It's not true. They lie to themselves. They lie to you. It doesn't matter. Or if they met somebody, I don't know. It's always these generic kind of really tall guys that look like Aston Kutcher or whatever. It's the generic thing. You don't see guys. There is no, first of all, no exactly like you. But I'm saying, like I just never had it. And it's never going to happen with this woman either. It's not going to happen. I know I'm talking a lot about her, but it's because, it's like that tiny microcosm, the 0.01%. It's like in my, like if there's a God out there in this universe, like they would bring the right two people together. Like I really thought so. Like I unexpectedly, like after waiting your whole life, years is like, that's a long fucking time, man. I thought, like, because I gave up everything that was bad for me. You ever see that movie Field of Dreams? If you don't, fucking watch it. You don't have to be a baseball fan to get the story. My friend Ruben's not a baseball fan. This is an incredible film. But at the end, at the fucking end, I know that, but that's not that important. as in the ending when he did everything. He did everything. He was getting pissed. I remember the Ray Costanza, Ray whatever, Ray what you know. He did everything for build it, Ray. James Earl Jones. He went ease his pain, you know, like and did everything. The doctor guy, and then the writer Terrence Mann or whatever. Then he did everything. They told him to build the field, go the distance, everything. And the guy comes, the foreclosure guy. He goes, Ray, you'll lose everything. Ray, you'll lose everything. And he saw the vision. He saw the fucking thing that the guy's playing on the field, and it's like he believed he was about to lose everything. He drove all the way to get the guy, But at the very, very, very end, do you remember what happened? Remember what happens at the very, very end? After he did everything and he started getting mad, he's like, I did fucking everything. I did everything you asked. And the catcher turns around and it's this guy. Never. I think he said, like, the only time he knew his dad, he was already gone, mentally or whatever. It's an emotional. Let's wait a second. It's, what a time for your computer to stop, And I'm sorry. The guy takes off the catcher's mask, turns around, and it's his dad. It's just a truly a moment, Please bear with. No, I was talking and then making a very important point, and then fucking computer decides to